Excuse me, Lieutenant Governor, come on. Okay. Y'all, thank you for waiting. In the last few weeks, we've seen more and more federal overreach from the Biden administration. As a South Carolinian, but also as a lawyer for many years, having served as U.S. Attorney and Attorney General, as business people around the state have seen, and I think as the average citizen who's focused on their family and school and making a living, we have been stunned at the overreach of the Biden administration. Stunned is the word. I have never seen a president go out of bounds as much out of bounds of the law as this one. Surely we are facing an unprecedented pandemic, at least in our lifetimes, but the Constitution is there for difficult times and difficult situations, and the Constitution does not allow what the Biden administration is doing. One of the most egregious acts was the act of the Attorney General of the United States, who of course is a lawyer and was a judge for many years and was nominated for the United States Supreme Court, to act on a letter from the National School Board Association, which asked for the FBI, the Secret Service, and other federal law enforcement agencies to investigate what they believe to be domestic terrorism at the school boards, that is, to investigate parents. And the Attorney General of the United States turned around and issued an order to all the U.S. attorneys and the FBI, which are part of the Department of Justice, to develop contacts and to inquire with the local authorities about such activities, that is, to investigate parents going to school boards. It is unbelievable that we have come to that point. Now, here come other unbelievable acts outside of the law, and these are the federal vaccine mandates. There should be no mandates. The people have ample access to the vaccine if they want it. We've learned all about it, all the different vaccines. They are available everywhere in South Carolina. People have reasons to take the vaccine and reasons not to. But a federal mandate for such a thing has never been done in our history. But here they're coming from the Biden administration. So what will we do? I will issue an executive order barring any South Carolina cabinet agency from issuing or enforcing any vaccine mandate. Number two, I'll require all state agencies, including the 19 cabinet agencies, to report to me any inquiry or request for vaccination from the federal government. That is allowed by law. Both of those things are allowed by law. Now, we are one of 8 states who are in a lawsuit already against the federal government for its unlawful orders against federal contractors, and it extends beyond them to subcontractors and others in contact with subcontractors. We have filed a lawsuit led by the state of Georgia, joined by 6 other states. There may be others joining later. That's what we're doing with the federal mandate on the federal agencies and the federal employees. But there's another arena, and that is the one involving the Occupational Safety and Health Act. Today, the Biden administration, through the OSHA administration, published regulations requiring most businesses in the country, except the smaller ones, to vaccinate their employees or seek financial punishment. It is unbelievable that the federal government would issue such an unlawful order. It is questionable whether the Congress could even do that, but certainly it cannot be done by executive order or through a federal agency, least of all the Occupational Safety and Health Act. It is difficult to believe that we are seeing what we are seeing. The business judgment is being overwhelmed and ignored. The rights of the people, perhaps civil rights, are being ignored, and the parents' interest in their own children in schools that they pay for with tax money are being trampled, subjected to criminal investigation. It is hard to believe that this is what is happening in our country. So, on the federal employee, the federal agency regulation, we are in a lawsuit and we are fighting that. I'm confident that other states will join in different ways. On the new OSHA regulation that has been published today, we will fight that aggressively. We have been and will continue to fight these unlawful regulations and acts and intrusions on the rights of our people with all the strength that we have. Any lawful objection, any lawful act that we can take to protect our people, we will do. We are not saying that people should not get vaccinated. We are not saying that the vaccine, that the virus is not dangerous. We don't know what variant may come later. There may be a series. We don't know. We've already had two. But for the federal government to intrude into the workplace and into the relationship between a parent and their child at a school board meeting under threat of criminal prosecution is outrageous, it is unlawful, and we will fight it with everything that we have. Are there any questions?
Clarification on your executive order. Is that requiring cabinet agencies from enforcing a mandate on their own employees?
That's right. They're not going to issue a mandate, and if there is a federal mandate, I'm prohibiting them from enforcing that as well. And I'm asking all the agencies. We have 19 cabinet agencies, which I appoint. Then we have others, dozens of others, which I do not appoint, but have indirect, they are state agencies. I'm asking all of the cabinet agencies and all the state agencies, the total, to provide me immediately, as the statute allows, information. In this case, the information is inquiry by the federal government or any of its parts into the vaccination status or vaccination information about its employees. Yes, sir.
Does this executive order kind of extend to the city of Columbia? And kind of how do you feel about the city of Columbia announcing earlier this week that they are requiring employees to get vaccinated?
I don't believe in vaccination mandates, period, from any government. Again, there are plenty of vaccines out there. You can take your choice, you can take your time, you can get whatever brand you want. You can do it almost 24 hours a day anywhere in the state. There are some people who, for various reasons, do not want to have a vaccine, and certainly don't want their children to be required to be vaccinated. So I don't believe it's necessary.
Absolutely. And with the 5 to 11 being announced today, kids in Columbia are now getting vaccinated between that age. A lot of parents are hesitant. Do you encourage parents to go ahead and get their children vaccinated?
I encourage parents to decide what they want to do. We have a wealth of information on the vaccines and people's reaction to them and the protection that they provide. We've had months. We've been going through this since last February before last. So there's very little that we don't know about it. Of course, it could change. There could be new developments. But that's a decision for parents to make. If you notice, these federal regulations, this is big government at its worst. It's just a revolving cycle of one mandate after another that is not supported by law. And we in this state, as well as in other states, go fight every one of them with every legal tool that we have.
Governor, as you are obviously very familiar with, the legal process can take time. There's the possibility that some of these employers will enforce these mandates and meet the deadlines the federal government has given and do that before a court can rule on the lawsuit and make it moot essentially. Is that a concern of yours?
Well, the private, I cannot tell, I do not have the authority as governor to tell a private business what to do or not do with their own employees in that situation. But personally, I do not think it is necessary to have a mandate. I do not think it's good for business. I don't think it sends a good message to say you will fire people who do not get a vaccine. But that's a private business, and under the law, I as governor do not have authority over that. And there may be some states that have a state of emergency or some sort of power that we don't have here. There are certain powers that the legislature has, but in those areas where I have authority, and that includes lawsuits, we are going to do everything. We've done everything we can do, and as more of these regulations come out, there's more that we have to do, and I presume that we will be having to fight this thing all the way to the Supreme Court on multiple fronts, and they'll be doing it as other states as well. And the reason is because it is unprecedented, it is unlawful, and it is just plain wrong. The President of the United States is telling you, you've got to get a vaccination that perhaps you do not want for whatever reason is your own. It is not lawful. It is not allowed under the Constitution, and that's what these cases are going to say.
Governor, when we were in school, we had to get vaccines to go to school. Those mandates actually went ahead. How is this different?
It's very different. You did have to get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated to go to school. That's not a federal mandate. This is a federal mandate. The Constitution of the United States gives the President, gives the Congress power in certain areas. Military, he's the commander-in-chief, interstate commerce, coins, common currency, weights, measures, a lot of other things, but they're listed. This is not in there. The states do have that authority. Remember, the states created the federal government, gave them certain powers, and kept all the rest. This is mandates for vaccines. A state can do that, subject to certain constitutional questions as well. But the federal government has no authority, yet that's what they're doing. Also, these vaccinations that we've, school children and others required to have stood the test of time. They've some 100 years old through inoculations and now vaccinations. So this is a different situation there as well. But that's the difference. There's never been a federal mandate for someone to get a vaccination, for a citizen to get a vaccination, or businesses to require it. Why? Because it's not allowed under the Constitution. Everybody else knew that. The Biden administration apparently doesn't know that, or doesn't believe it, or wants to go ahead and do it until a court knocks it down. In the meantime, they figure maybe they've made some progress. I would say in the meantime, they've done damage by violating the rights of the people.
Two more questions, John. Off topic. What are your thoughts on the Columbia mayoral race?
The who?
The Columbia mayoral race.
Well, we're down to a runoff now.
Yeah.
I probably ought to save that for another press conference.
Last question.
I think you mentioned, the threat of some earlier variants, want to get a lot of people vaccinated here. Do you believe the Biden administration is simply going about it the wrong way? But would you argue that could potentially eliminate any threat the virus still has here?
Would I think that this mandate would eliminate a future threat? Well, the vaccine and following the rules and social distancing and going home if you're sick, all of those things could eliminate the future threat. But a federal mandate for you to get a shot if you don't want one is outside of the realm of constitutional law, period.